Have you ever heard of Melchizedek, a fleeting character in the Bible who carries an unbelievable aura of mystery and power? Who is he? A king, a priest, or a metaphysical symbol beyond human comprehension? Why does he have neither a beginning nor an end, and why is he compared to Christ himself? In this video, we will uncover the hidden secrets of Melchizedek, a figure mentioned only a few times in the Bible, yet one that has astonished scholars, believers, and truth-seekers for millennia. Get ready to embark on a journey to unravel the mystery of the most enigmatic man in spiritual history. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Just one click from you brings us joy and motivation to create even more exciting videos. The mysterious character of Melchizedek in the Bible has inspired and perplexed religious thinkers and scholars for centuries. His name consists of two elements: Melech H, meaning king, and Sedek, which means righteousness, or the proper name Zedek. With the addition of Hieric Compaginis indicating an ancient construct form, Melchizedek means king of, so the name is literally translated as king of righteousness. Or my king is Zedek, suggesting that he worshipped Zedek, a Canaanite deity venerated in pre-Israelite Jerusalem. Appearing briefly in Genesis, the first book of the Hebrew Bible, or the Old Testament as referred to by Christians, Melchizedek left a profound mark when he blessed the patriarch Abram and was exalted as the priest of the Most High God. From this brief appearance, the image of Melchizedek became the focus of countless interpretations, sparking diverse doctrines among Jewish sects and early Christian communities. Some apocalyptic Jewish writers depicted him as a supreme priest sent from heaven, existing before the flood and destined to return to prepare for the coming of the Messiah. Meanwhile, early Christian believers viewed him as a prophetic figure, a precursor symbol of Jesus Christ, both holding the eternal priesthood that transcends all boundaries. This even raises a bold question. Could Melchizedek actually be Jesus Christ in another form? Strangely, unlike most characters in Genesis, he has no genealogy, no named parents, and is not described as the son of anyone. If Melchizedek was a historical figure, all traces of him have been erased over time, yet it is the way his image has been reinterpreted and transformed over centuries that truly captivates, revealing deep spiritual layers. Let us begin with the first story in Genesis. At first glance, the tale seems simple, but as you delve deeper, you will uncover a multitude of mysteries waiting to be explored. The story in Genesis 14 unfolds like an epic chronicle of war and power struggles. An alliance of cities, including Sodom and Gomorrah, is under the rule of King Chedorlaomer of Elam. After 12 years of submission, these cities rebelled against their ruler. However, Chedorlaomer swiftly crushed the rebellion, plundered the cities, took captives, and seized the spoils. Among the captives was Lot, the nephew of Abram the Hebrew. At this time, Abram was not yet known as Abraham, as the covenant with God had not yet been established. But he was already a wealthy and influential landowner with a fierce loyalty to his family. Upon hearing of Lot's plight, Abram did not hesitate. He led 318 well-trained servants in a daring nighttime raid, defeated Chedorlaomer and his forces, and pursued them as far as Damascus. Thanks to this attack, Abram not only rescued Lot but also recovered all the plunder and captives. Yet at the moment of victory's glory, the story takes a completely different turn, leading us to a mysterious encounter with an extraordinary figure. As Abram returned, the king of Sodom, previously identified as King Bera, came to greet him. However, before the king of Sodom could speak, an entirely new figure appeared, unmentioned in the long list of warring kings. In verses 18 to 20, Genesis states, Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. He was priest of God Most High, and he blessed Abram, saying, Blessed be Abram by God Most High, creator of heaven and earth, and praise be to God Most High, who delivered your enemies into your hand. Then Abram gave him 1/10 of everything. From these brief verses, a world of profound meanings unfolds. Melchizedek is not only the king of Salem, widely believed to be the precursor of Jerusalem, but also a priest of God Most High, the singular deity of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. In this moment, he blessed Abram, who would soon become the patriarch of God's chosen nation. Even more intriguing, Abram, a powerful figure, bowed before Melchizedek, offering him a tenth of the spoils, acknowledging the priest's superior status. However, Melchizedek's appearance was startlingly brief. Right after this event, he vanished from the story, without explanation or trace. The story immediately shifts back to the king of Sodom, who offered Abram a portion of the spoils. But Abram, a man of integrity, declined everything, declaring that he did not want anyone to say his wealth came from any hand other than God. The brief yet mysterious appearance of Melchizedek, the king and priest of Salem, in Genesis 14 has always prompted questions from religious scholars and biblical researchers. Why did such a powerful and enigmatic figure abruptly intrude into Abram's war story? Robert Cargill, a professor of classics and religious studies at the University of Iowa, proposed a series of bold and controversial theories in his recent book, Melchizedek, King of Sodom: How Scribes Invented the Biblical Priest-King. Cargill presents an intriguing perspective. Originally, Melchizedek was not the king of Salem, but the king of Sodom. Based on textual evidence from the earliest Hebrew and Greek versions of Genesis 14, he argues that the early editors of the Hebrew Bible intentionally altered the text to separate Abram from any positive association with the king of Sodom, a city later symbolized as a place of wickedness and sin. According to this theory, introducing Melchizedek as an independent character was a strategic change. Instead of linking Abram with Sodom, the scribes renamed Sodom to Shalem, a well-known city in Samaria. But the transformation did not stop there. Around 300 BCE, amid tensions between the Levite priests in Jerusalem and the Samaritans in Samaria, Shalem was further transformed into Salem, a word meaning peace and also associated with Jerusalem. Why does this matter? This is not merely a minor textual alteration, but a significant political and religious maneuver. The Samaritans worshipped the same God as the Jews, but had their own temple on Mount Gerizim and independent priests. Meanwhile, the Levite priests in Jerusalem sought to consolidate their power and authority, while eliminating any competition from Samaria. Cargill argues that the transformation of Shalem into Salem in the story of Melchizedek not only elevated the status of Jerusalem, but also strengthened the power of the Levite priests. The story of Melchizedek receiving a tenth from Abram became divine justification for the Levite priests' right to demand tithes from all those loyal to the Jerusalem temple. Thus, Melchizedek is not merely a mystical figure, but also the product of a centuries-long struggle for power, influence, and religious belief. The image of the king-priest of Salem was recreated and transformed to serve the purposes of religious forces of that era. Through this skillful intervention, his story became an indispensable piece in the complex tapestry of biblical history and theology. Although Melchizedek appears only once in the brief story of Genesis, his name resonates in two other parts of the Bible, becoming central to the theological foundation of Jesus' power and divinity. One mention of him is in Psalm 110, believed to be written by King David. It is one of the most famous passages on priestly theology, where God makes promises to "my Lord," a figure Jews regard as King David and Christians later interpret as Jesus Christ. Among the divine promises, the most striking statement is, "You are a priest forever according to the order of Melchizedek." This passage not only reinforces the symbolic significance of Melchizedek, but also paved the way for early Christian apologists, like Paul, to use Melchizedek's image to explain and affirm Jesus' divinity and eternal power. In the book of Hebrews, a letter addressed to a young Christian community struggling to break away from Jewish traditions, the author, possibly Paul or someone else, argues that Jesus Christ is not only the Messiah, but also holds authority superior to all high priests of Israel. Chapter 7 of Hebrews particularly emphasizes the connection between Melchizedek and Jesus, creating a strong theological parallel. Melchizedek, according to the author of Hebrews, is not only the king of Salem, but also the priest of the Most High God. He represents a unique union of royal and priestly power, something ancient Jews believed to be impossible. According to Jewish law, only those of the Levite lineage could serve as priests, while kings had to come from a different lineage. History even records that King Uzziah was punished with leprosy when he attempted to perform priestly rituals in the temple. However, the author of Hebrews uses Psalm 110 to demonstrate that Jesus does not belong to the Levitical priesthood, but is an eternal priest in the order of Melchizedek. Jesus' authority transcends all traditional boundaries, not only because he is the Messiah, but also as the King of Righteousness and the Prince of Peace, titles that Melchizedek also embodied in his time. This was especially significant to the Jews of that time, who questioned how Jesus, not being a Levite, could perform the atonement for humanity's sins. The author explains that, like Melchizedek, Jesus does not need to belong to the Levite lineage to hold priestly authority. His authority is timeless, established through his sacrifice and resurrection. He is a priest forever. An intriguing and ironic detail is how the early editors of the Bible, in changing Shalem to Salem, inadvertently strengthened the symbolic link between Melchizedek, the King of Peace, and Jesus, called the Prince of Peace. This change, though political and sectarian in nature, laid the foundation for theological interpretations of Jesus as the ultimate and eternal priest, surpassing all limits of Jewish tradition. Melchizedek, the mysterious figure in the Hebrew Bible, has not only captivated readers but also become the center of countless legends and mystical writings. During the Second Temple period, when forgeries flourished, many strange tales about him emerged, adding to the myth of this king-priest. The forgeries, often attributed to biblical figures like Moses, Adam and Eve, or Enoch, were actually the work of later authors attempting to extract deeper spiritual meanings from ancient figures. One of the most fascinating stories about Melchizedek is recorded in 2 Enoch, a text originating from the 1st century CE in Egypt. According to this account, Melchizedek was not an ordinary figure, but one born before the Great Flood under supernatural circumstances. Ner, the younger brother of Noah, had an elderly wife. One day she experienced a strange pregnancy, and Ner, suspecting her of infidelity, accused her. In her sorrow, she passed away. Believing the matter was over, Ner and Noah decided to secretly bury her. But then an unexpected event occurred. As they were digging the grave, a newborn child emerged from the body of the deceased wife, immediately growing into a 3-year-old child, able to walk and talk. They named the child Melchizedek and noticed that the baby bore signs of priesthood, a symbol of divine election. In fear, Ner and Noah witnessed the angel Michael descend, taking Melchizedek away to protect him from the great flood. Michael took the boy to Eden, where he was safely kept, waiting for his return. According to the angel, Melchizedek would reappear as the king priest of Salem and initiate a priestly lineage leading to the coming of the Messiah. But the stories of Melchizedek don't end there. In the Nag Hammadi manuscripts, a brief passage elevates Melchizedek to a new level. Not only a shadow or type of Jesus Christ, this text suggests that Melchizedek is actually the precursor or reincarnation of Jesus. This idea goes beyond traditional interpretations, offering a new perspective on the theological connection between these two figures. Legends such as those in 2 Enoch and the Nag Hammadi manuscripts not only enrich the portrayal of Melchizedek, but also reflect the efforts of religious communities to connect this figure with deeper beliefs and teachings. Melchizedek became a symbol of divine selection, a bridge between humanity and God, between the ancient world and future salvation. Do these stories truly reveal the truth about Melchizedek, or are they simply the product of rich imagination? Regardless of the answer, we cannot deny the mysterious allure of this figure, a timeless symbol connecting religious traditions in an eternal spiritual journey. That is all we can uncover about Melchizedek. A mysterious figure, full of power, carrying profound meanings that transcend time in spiritual history. Who is he? A real person, a symbol, or a mystery created to connect humanity with higher truths? The answer may lie in the unceasing journey of search within each of us. Legends such as those in 2 Enoch and the Nag Hammadi manuscripts not only enrich the portrayal of Melchizedek, but also reflect the efforts of religious communities to connect this figure with deeper beliefs and teachings. Wishing you a peaceful, inspiring, and lucky day. See you in the next journeys where we will continue to explore mysteries beyond time and space. Thank you for joining, and my warmest regards to you.